Jason, they continue to play above 500, although they're just a couple games. But this is the exact same record they had, interestingly, at this point last year at 23-21. They're a game and a half back of Atlanta. They're treading water, but they're not out of it. They're right there. The question here is, I'm going to focus on Ross Detwiler on Dan's suggestion earlier in the show. What does the team need to do with this guy, and how best can they, how do you solve the riddle of Ross Detwiler and how to use him?
I mean, I guess you don't want to trade him because you like the depth. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, I mean, guys at the back end of the bullpen, I mean, he's not getting work. I don't know. I mean, you can carry him for the whole year just as an insurance policy for the team. That doesn't help the guy out, but teams don't care about that. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're thinking about their situation. Basically, if they're going to continue doing what they're doing, they're going to have to recognize and accept that the guy's not going to be very effective probably for the year, because he's not getting work. And I guess, but for their standpoint, I guess keeping him around as insurance policy is the best thing.
For the starting rotation in case there's injuries there?
I think they've had 7 guys start games now, right? And he hasn't been one of the 7.
Right.
So,
and seems like there's depth.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that he has a future here. And it's weird because he was a pretty high first-round pick.
Yeah.
And he was a valued member of this rotation.
Well, I mean, he started game
the playoffs. He started in that LZ, yes.
Game 4, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Did he get the win? I don't know. He pitched
I don't know he got the win, but that was the first. That was the only
but
quality start of the series. I think.
Yes. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, weird, but obviously whatever they're doing right now with him isn't working. And then when they need a guy to come in the 15th inning, in a game that they would like to win, and he's giving up a 2-run homer, undoing 27 scoreless innings from the bullpen. Like, if you can't use him there,
then it's.
But do you put that on the way he's being used right now? His struggles a little bit is because he's not getting the reps.
Well, that's not. I mean, a guy's in that situation. I mean, he's a high first-round pick. He's a guy who pitched well in a playoff game. You're at the back end of the bullpen getting called out in the 15th inning. I mean, guys need to have mental toughness to succeed as a professional athlete, but that's a pretty tough spot for a guy.
When you have to assume Rizzo is seeing what type of value he may have on the market.
So.
I mean, they could
whatever
use
value is going down right now, though, isn't it?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, it could possibly just be the scenario that is playing out for him. I mean, it's a very competitive staff that he's a part of. He may go to a different environment and be a totally different player. You just never know. I would be weighing out the options of how much value the guy holds, and can I bring in some guys that could possibly help in some of the other positions that they're thin in, because they are enduring injuries at key different positions. So that's how I would be looking at it.
I'll say if this was like the Washington Capitals and Adam Oates was the coach, like he would have popped off in the media for sure. And him and other guys on this team have accepted roles on the pitching staff that they might not have preferred, I think, this year.
Is that a cultural thing, though, between baseball and hockey? I mean, it's a little bit, whatever. Let's not go down that road. On the plus side, though, Jason, let's move on from Detwiler. Strasburg. He's been pitching very well. Hasn't necessarily been noticed in the win column. He's 3-3. But he started off with those couple rough outings early in the season. He's brought his ERA all the way down to just over 3 now, 3.3 something. Best among the starters for the Nats. I mean, that's got to bode well for the Nationals, and that's helping them keep, above 500 during this stretch of. Go ahead. No. I mean, he's bounced back. Anything surprising from you of the way he's been pitching?
Well, I mean, he's a good pitcher. I mean, he's a talented guy. Well, no. I mean, I'm not trying to be a joke.
No, that's all right.
I mean, look, just because the guy throws hard and he's got command and all that doesn't mean he's always going to be successful.
Right.
And people got so caught up. This talent was so starved for success for so long. I mean, he's a young guy who's got a lot of ability, but it's not going to be like this, okay? I mean, but he's pitching well now. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, much more concerned right now is what's going on with Gio Gonzalez's shoulder, I think.
Right.
And, first serious starting pitcher injury of the season after Pfister had his whole spring training thing. That 15 days, they say it's just inflammation, but you never want shoulder. No. You never want shoulder.
Last question, true, false, real quick, guys. Back to Detwiler. Will he start a game this season? LeVar?
I say yes.
True?
I say no.
False?
Well, I say no.
False. 2 falses and a true.
I will be correct.
We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't get to that because that would mean they're relatively healthy. All right.